A quick disclaimer before we start the video. I want to be absolutely clear that I'm not here to make people angry or to make anyone upset. It's just my personal opinion. I'm only here to have some fun and share my experience and thoughts on this tank. So no harsh feelings if this happens to be one of your favorite tanks. And with that out of the way, hey everyone, have you ever wanted to experience what it would be like being on the bottom of the barrel? Suffering and being picked on by every other player, and you can't do or say anything about it because you just know the tank you picked is trash? Then look no further than the Chinese PT-76. So what's the deal with this tank, you may be asking, and why am I talking specifically about the Chinese PT-76 and not about the Russian PT-76B? And the answer to that question is very simple. The Russian variant has a stabilizer and the Chinese one doesn't, which makes this an enjoyable tank to play even worse for me. Just keep in mind that for this video I will be playing and referring to this tank as stock, because every time I try to play the PT-76 I just can't bring myself to spend enough time grinding for all the modifications. My first real complaint about this tank is the way it feels when you're driving it. I don't know what it is, but something about this tank just feels weird. Like the moment you hold the W key and you try to move forward, it just feels as if the tank is being towed rather than driving on its own. I can't explain exactly what it is, but I have a feeling it might be due to it being stock. But enough about that. Let's talk guns. What do we have in terms of firepower? Well, it has a 76.2mm D56T cannon, firing its APCR rounds, which at first they don't actually look that bad. You can penetrate up to 152mm of armor at 10 meters of distance, and up to 78mm at 2 kilometers. It of course also comes with the stock HE rounds, which I don't want to get too much into those right now. Let's just say that I don't end up using those too often, because the moment something with little or to no armor, like an anti-air, looks at you wrong, you're instantly sent back to the hangar by the time you switch to your HE rounds. Excuse the interruption, but while making this video I stumbled upon a Reddit post where someone was talking about the PT-76 receiving a buff which cut its reload time nearly in half. So that last thing I said about being destroyed by the time you switch your shells is off the list of my complaints, but that still wouldn't change my mind about this tank. I still think it sucks ass. And one other thing, I also read that this tank was removed, or Gaijin was planning on removing it from the game. So if you don't see this tank in your tree, let me know down in the comments below if they actually did take it off the game or not, since I purchased it way back when. But yeah, back to the video. And last but not least, it also comes equipped with a 7.62mm machine gun, which is not very useful against anything other than tanks which have their whole crew completely exposed. We said a few words about its guns, now let's see how it holds up in terms of mobility. The speed on this tank is the same as the Russian PT-76B, which is 44 kilometers an hour, and that's not bad at all. but the slow acceleration speed of 15 seconds to reach maximum speed just makes it kinda clumsy to reach the good spots in flank or scout the enemy, especially when it's fully stocked, just like mine. And you just can't take risks driving into the open for a few seconds to change to a better position compared to some other light tanks of the same BR, because you're just way too slow, especially on urban maps, and it will end up getting you destroyed in most cases if the enemy is not blind and they're looking in your general direction. It's also no surprise that these tanks suffer the same fate as our Russian tanks do. Their reverse speed is infuriating, especially when trying to run away from a fight. So if you shoot with this tank, be sure to destroy them on your first shot, or that will most likely be your last shot you take. The turret and her rotation speed is nothing to write home about either. It takes a whopping 29 seconds to a 360 degrees rotation, which no one's surprise will get you killed most of the time. And if somehow you survive the shot from an enemy which left you immobile, and they didn't have a 50 cal to finish you off, they'd have plenty of time to reload and shoot you again, most likely without the need for them to even move away from your firing line, because that's just how slow the turret is. So in conclusion, if I really wanted to play in the 5.0 to 6.0 battle rating, I would never go out of my way to pick the PT-76 ever. There's way better choices for tanks which perform much better stock using the same APCR rounds and packing a ton of armor on top of that as well, such as the M4A3E2 Jumbo, which I myself enjoy regularly and is one of my favorite tanks to mess around in game with. A quick comparison between the PT-76 and the Jumbo will undoubtedly make most people pick the Jumbo before the PT-76. I mean, the Jumbo is using a 75mm gun, which feels much better to use than the PT-1. Its turret rotation speed is a lot faster as well, at 18.1 degrees per second, which only takes 19 seconds to rotate at 360 degrees, which might not seem that fast, but that's still a 10 seconds faster rotation speed than the PT-76. As you can see from that video, the Jumbo has some thick armor which can stop most of the shells that enemies would be using against you at this battle rating range, which can make you feel like the king of the hill, taking shot after shot and just brushing it all off as if enemies were throwing rocks at you. Well, for the exception of a few tanks such as the IS-2, but I'm pretty sure we all know why that is. And that's gonna be it for this review, or just my thoughts of the Chinese PT-76 in general, or whatever you wanna call this video. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this video, since it's my first time doing something of this format. Any and all feedback would be greatly appreciated. And also let me know which is your least favorite tank or your favorite one in the comments down below. Also don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one whenever I make.